They call me a slut. Oh, wow. That's aggressive. Hello, my shiny baes. Hello, my besties. It is officially time for our January wrap up. Now listen, am I late? Absolutely. Do we care? No. No, we don't. We don't, because over here, time is a concept that we don't partake in. You know what I mean? We do things at our own pace whenever we want. And that's just what I'm practicing here. I'm practicing what I preach. I know I posted my February TBR before posting my wrap up, which is unheard of on this channel. But for some reason, it was the way that it is that it happened, that it been done. If this is your first time here, I deeply apologize. Let me know if this is your first time here, this is your first video you're seeing of me, and you're like, wow, she's fucking crazy. You would be right. I am crazy, but I am free, you know? Hey, in case you didn't know, books are my love language. Where did I even buy this? I wish I could tell you. Where did I buy this? Hello? Okay, I got it at the Last Chapter bookstore in Chicago. Yes, okay. Not a single person cares. Okay, so my beautiful besties, today we are going to be discussing every single book I read in January. I'll be telling you whether I read it on Kindle, paperback, audiobook, what have you, any format, because we accept all formats of reading over here. We don't judge ever, okay? We don't judge reading taste, and we don't judge how you read books. You're reading, and that's all that fucking matters, right? And I'm also going to be talking a little bit about each book, what I rated it, but no spoilers at all. Okay, let's start. I read how many books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hold on. I read it on my phone, like my ratings and stuff, because I literally forget. Like, I have the memory of an actual peanut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I read 16 books this month, and let me explain. Kind of, not really. A lot of these books I read at the end of December, but because I had already done like my full wrap up for December, I didn't count it in December, I counted it in January. So some of these I read at the end of December, some of them I read in January. If we're just speaking January, I probably only read like 6 books or something like that, which who cares? Who cares the amount we read? It's another thing we don't judge over here. Also, my besties, I'm starting this new thing where I'm gonna put every single book I read each month into different folders on my Amazon storefront. So my Amazon storefront will be linked in the description, and you can go there and it'll say like January wrap up, and all the books I'm talking about will be on there. That way you can buy it easier, you know, just making it simple for everyone that wants to find the book, whether it's a special edition or what have you. So it'll be on there if you want to see. Link in the description. Okay, let's get started. So what did I read? Okay, first up, hold on everyone. I'm coming back. I'm here. She's back. Guess who's back? Back. Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, here we are. What order is this in? I'm in a silly, goofy mood today, y'all. Anyway, I started out the year with, dare I say it, a bang. Dare I say it, a fairy bang. Wingspan bang. I started with A Court of Thorns and Roses. The entire series that is out so far, the series is not done yet, y'all. I figured this out the hard way, okay? It's not finished. However, I read the books that are out and I became so obsessed that I even got a tattoo. Do you want to see it? There you go. Do you see it right there? Right there. Do you see that? To the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered. Okay, so that's how you know I clearly loved the series. If you want in full detail, full spoiler thoughts throughout every single book as I'm reading it, go watch my vlog. I put a part 1 and a part 2 of me reading this entire series. So right now I'm just kind of gonna be talking very little since these vlogs are so fucking long, but go watch it, please do. Worked very hard on it, so hope you enjoy. Anyway, so the books are in order. A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury. That's not in order. Hold on. A Court of Wings and Ruin, then this little Christmas novella, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then A Court of Silver Flames, okay? This series, it is so hyped up. Everyone and their mothers and their squirrels and their pets and their dogs and their coffees and their grandmothers and their laundry, everybody talks about it, okay? Like, if there's a person that's out there talking about books, they've talked about this. They've read this. I was the last in line. I was literally the last person on earth to read this series. But you know what? I did it, and everything everyone says can confirm it's true. The hype is very much warranted, okay? It is so good. I rated A Court of Thorns and Roses 4.5, then A Court of Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin, both 5 stars. Court of Frost and Starlight, because it's a little novella, like it's so little, it's just a little Christmas special. I rated it 3.5, and then A Court of Silver Flames, also 5 stars. So clearly we have a lot of 5 stars in this series for me. It's definitely come up as like one of my favorite series of all time. My favorite series, thank you so much for asking, Boys of Tommen by Chloe Walsh, Addicted Calloway by Kristen Becca Ritchie, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Like, that's in there now. And I love books, okay? Like, Fucking obviously. I love to read books that I know I'm gonna like, okay? I usually don't pick up a book if I think I'm not gonna like it. So I rate books pretty high. Like I rate them 4 stars, 4.5, 3 stars, but like I don't usually rate books 1 star, 2 stars. I enjoy most of the things that I read, but I don't give 5 stars very often. 5 stars are like saved for my very, very, very special books, and these are very, very special to me. I don't even include series and my favorites, okay? I read a lot of series that I actually like, but they're not included in my top favorites. My top favorites have been the top 3 that I just said for like the past 3 years, and this is the first one that's been included in it. So if you're gonna wanna read a fantasy series, if you're not a fantasy reader, you're scared, trust me, okay? This was so easy to read. The world building was not difficult. It was so like simple to follow, and it felt like a fantasy without being a fantasy. It felt like these were just normal like human beings in a fantasy world. It was the weirdest thing. It was done so well. The writing is amazing. The universe is amazing. I can't wait to read. Where's your difficult to me today? Like what's going on? Like, are we good? Are we okay? We're never okay, but like we usually speak better than this, do we not? Anyway, love. Yeah, that's the point. Obsessed. So fucking good. If you're gonna want to read a fantasy, it's your first time, I think this would be such a good start. Feyre and Rhysand are everything to me. Cassian and Nesta are everything to me. Even Elaine grew on me. Asriel is everything to me. Like I love these characters. I love this universe. Please, please, please read it. I can't wait to read the other Sarah J Maas universes. I am going to be reading Crescent City and all of those, and then Throne of Glass also. Probably Throne of Glass first and then Crescent City. Stay tuned. I'll be reading those and I will vlog them, but go watch the vlogs. If you haven't, there it is. That's how I started my year. Wow. Wow. You know what I mean? It's all downhill from here. Literally, there's a car alarm going off in the middle of my video. Do they not know I'm filming? No, because I guess we'll wait. We have all the time in the world. You know what I mean? Like, by all means, let your alarm ring. Okay. So while we are talking about fantasies, let me just tell you about the other fantasy that I read. This was quite literally, I'm pretty sure, one of the last books I read in December, and it's Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Everyone, unbelievable. So I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts because I read it. Why are you asking? Anyway, everyone has raved about this book, okay? And you guys have commented so many times for me to read it. So I caved and I finally read it, and the cover is beautiful. I'm pretty sure this is this author's first book because I've never heard of her before. So for a debut book, are you fucking kidding? Like, she wrote a book and it's already doing so well, and that's her first book. That's incredible. So props to her. That's first of all. Second of all, I love to see women succeed. So of course I had to read it. Of course I had to pick up this book in support in any way that I can. This is dual POV. It follows Kai and it follows Peyton. Right off the bat, I love their names. I love their names. Right off the bat, Akatar Bat, the Bat Boys. Okay, anyway, as you can see, Akatar's been living in my mind rent free. I love their names. Peyton and Kai, I feel like I haven't seen like that many characters with those names. I've seen Kai before, but I've never seen Peyton. So I really enjoyed Peyton, not Peyton. Peyton Sawyer is not who we're talking about here. Not One Tree Hill, even though that also lives in my mind rent free. We're talking about Peyton. This is literally like if you take all of the dystopian books you read as a kid, like Hunger Games, Divergent, like that entire vibe, Maze Runner even, and you put it together. That's what Powerless reminds me of. It brought me back to what it was like to read those as a kid, which I think is why I liked it so much. Basically, Peyton is like an ordinary. She is just another gal living in this world, okay? She's one of us. She's a person of the people. And she lives in a world where everybody is not an ordinary. They are extraordinary? What is your name? The elites. Okay, so she lives in a world where the elites all live. Basically, there are no ordinaries. Like, everyone has powers in this world. And she has disguised herself throughout all this time so that she doesn't die. And then she gets put into these trials where every elite competes and there's a winner and everybody dies, and it's like super Hunger Games kind of vibe, okay? But like I said, she's an ordinary, and she is literally put in these trials with all of these elites to compete with no fucking powers. And of course, there may be like a prince there. There may be a little enemies to lovers, a little knife to the throat vibe, okay? So this is not a romance, it's a fantasy, but also there's so much fucking romance. There's a lot of slow burn and angst in this book. It felt so angsty. Like, I literally was like shaking sometimes because I was like, oh my God, there's so much like banter, yeah, but like tension. That's the word I'm looking for, tension. There's so much tension between these two characters, and you literally have no idea where it's going until the end, which I really enjoyed. There's gonna be more though, so you do get left in a cliffhanger, and I'm pretty sure it might be a trilogy. So there's this, and then I think Reckless is coming out soon, which is really funny. Ready? Powerless, Reckless. 2 books Also, LZ Silver wrote Powerless and Reckless. Funny, right? Funny titles. That has nothing to do with anything. Anyway, it says hunted, hunter, destined for each other. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, this had a lot of potential to be a 5-star, but it wasn't. Let me explain myself. I ended up rating this a 4 because I did really enjoy it. I loved the knife to the throat scenes. I loved, like I said, the banter, the dynamic between the characters. I loved the world, and the world building wasn't so difficult. I loved the elites. I loved the trials. I love a lot about it, right? But it did feel like a literal copy and paste of like Divergent and Hunger Games put together. So I feel like I was a little bit underwhelmed just because of that. Now, that's not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I definitely fucking did. It just wasn't my favorite book of all time. I feel like for a lot of people, this is a 5-star, and it wasn't for me, mainly for that reason. But it was super fun. It was a great fantasy. It was also a great like break from all the books I was reading. I was reading a bunch of dark romances, and I needed something to kind of get me off of that for a second. And this book did it. I was feeling like I was gonna get in a slump, and this book said, no, you were not. Lauren Roberts said, not on my watch, okay? So I really enjoyed it. And I will be reading the other books in the series. It just wasn't the best book I've ever read in my life, you know? But 4 stars. I really liked it. I just realized that I was gonna tell you guys how I read these books, and I didn't even say that. Every single one of those that I just showed, ACOTAR and Powerless, I read on my Kindle. This next one I also read on my Kindle, and when I pull it up, you're gonna be like, Larry, what in the actual fuck? You are such a liar. Because in previous videos, I have been known to say that I will never read this author again. And here I am, having read this author again, okay? Let me explain myself before you yell at me, okay? It's Sable Peak by Daphne Perry. Daphne Perry, I'm done with her, okay? That's so dramatic because I'm not done with her as a person. I'm done with her books. Like, I got bored of Daphne Perry books. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, I will die on this hill. All of them are the same. All of them are just about white people in Montana. I've said it and I'm gonna continue to say it, okay? There's nothing different in the books. However, this is the last book in the Eden series, okay? And I read all of the Edens. So of course I had to read the last one. I even told you I would. So hold all your horses before you yell at me. You hold on to them. You don't let them go, okay? Because I told you I was gonna read this. However, will I be reading any other Daphne Perry books in the future? Probably not, if I'm being honest. Unless something really calls out to me, probably not, because I did get tired of her. But I feel like if I give myself a little break, I can go back to her and like maybe enjoy a book or two. I just can't binge it. I just can't read back to back to back to back, or her whole catalog. Like, that's not for me anymore. But Sable Peak, oh my goodness me, this took me by surprise. I was fully expecting to hate it. Indigo Ridge and Juniper Hill are the best in the Eden series. It all went downhill after that for me. Like, Juniper Hill was my only 5-star, and I just feel like other than that, none of them really lived up to the Edens for me. But Sable Peak, holy me, oh my, okay? This follows Vera and Mateo, and it's dual POV, okay? And basically Vera, I think you meet her in the book before this, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken. She like has lived a very rough life, okay? The Edens kind of take her in. She kind of becomes part of the family. And ever since she becomes part of the family, she's like, Mateo's the one for me. I love him so much, okay? He has no idea though. My guy is literally very unaware. You know that sound? I can't see, I'm blind. That's Mateo about Vera, okay? And usually I hate unrequited love when it's like from the girl's point of view and she just loves him so much and he does not see it. I hate that, okay? This book did it so well. Also, it's single dad. It's like a little bit of it's always been you, and like you changed me and you're the one for me. A lot of fate, a lot of just like build up to this relationship, a little bit of a slow burn. I enjoyed everything about this. I really did. And the last little bit, like especially the epilogue, putting all the Edens together, like it felt like just a nice little ending to the series. It felt like it wrapped it up with a bow, and I will never regret reading this book, okay? I really was not clicking with any book when I read this one. Like, I kept trying. Pretty sure I tried like 5 different books, and I stopped on chapter 2 of every single one because I was like, I cannot get into a book right now. Sable Peak, Daphne Perry. I'm sorry for all the things I've said about your books, because this one really did it for me. And it's beautiful. Look at the cover. 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. If you're gonna read the Eden series, just read Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, and Sable Peak. They're all interconnected standalones, so you can. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You can read the whole series. You're probably gonna like it. It's just a me thing, you know? But 4.5. Another series that I wasn't really vibing with until I read this recent book is the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. You have King of Wrath and King of Pride. Again, interconnected standalones. I didn't really love those all that much, but I decided to read King of Greed, which is the 3rd one. I will tell you why I decided to read this, okay? Because Alessandra is Brasileira. Yeah, that's my only reasoning. I know it's not a very good one, but I saw a Brazilian character and I was like, well, it's about me, I must read it. Anyway, this follows Alessandra and Dominic, duo POV, and it is a marriage in trouble. It is a marriage struggling. It is a divorced kind of book. Like, basically they've been married for a very long time and they just don't have that love anymore. So she's like, I want a divorce, bye-bye. And this man is like, I cannot lose her. And that is essentially the plot of this book. So picture sad, but picture your heart getting put together.
You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
It's nice. She breaks your heart and then she puts it together. Typical Anna Huang style, you know? Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but the memory chip died and it cut me off. Very rude, okay? But I'm back. I cannot be stopped. I will continue to speak. I was talking about King of Greed. I don't remember what I was saying at all, but I enjoyed this book. I read it because she's Brazilian and I regret nothing because they go to Brazil. One of my favorite songs ever is in this book, Amor, I Love You. Deixa eu dizer que te amo. Deixa eu gostar de você. Isso me acalma, isso me ajuda a viver. Hoje contei as noites, coisas do meu coração. Fazem o tempo, carrega almas mais do que tanta paixão. É filho sem razão, é amor, fica aqui. I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yes, I read this because she's Brazilian and I regret nothing because I got a lot of Brazil crumbs that I needed in my life. So if you're Brazilian and you want to read King of Greed, feel free to do so. I allow it. I also allow it if you're not Brazilian. I guess I'll let you. So I ended up rating King of Greed 4 stars, which you know what is very good because I'm pretty sure King of Pride I rated like 2, and then King of Wrath I ended up changing my rating to 3 stars. So King of Greed, it was my personal favorite in this series so far. I just feel like Kings of Sin, it has felt a bit too similar to the Twisted series without it being the Twisted series because I love that series because of the characters, right? I feel like Kings of Sin is too close to it, but I don't feel as attached to the characters, which makes it worse, you know? So I haven't really loved any of the books, but I really enjoyed this one and I'm excited to see the rest of them. This is definitely a good one. They're all interconnect standalones, so you can read whichever one you want. I would recommend this one. Yeah, I read this on my Kindle too. 4 stars. Next up, I read again on my Kindle. Oh my God, there's a trend going on here, isn't it? I've been reading everything on my Kindle, and yet I still buy the paperback. What is wrong with me, and why do you allow me to be this way? Anyway, I read Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. Please search up trigger warnings for this one. Very dark romance. Very dark, okay? I read this one because I read Lessons in Sin by her a really long time ago, and I loved that book. I really enjoyed it, okay? And so I was like, let me read Dark Notes, especially because my mom read it recently and she became obsessed. So I was like, I'm on it. You know what I mean? Mama Eureka, you never lied to me. Well, you be lying to me sometimes, actually. Your taste is a bit questionable, but...
Don't tell me that all this advice is not educational. It's very.
My mom definitely loves like darker books than me. We share a taste in books. Like right now she's reading Addicted Calloway because I forced her to read it. I'm gonna force her to read Boys of Tommen soon. Stay tuned. But like she's obsessed with Kabbalaway, for instance, and I'm obsessed with Lilo. Like she loves like the darkest possible romances ever. And I like dark romance, but I'm like getting to the darkest ones. You know, it takes me a while to get there. So I knew that this might have been a bit too dark for me, but I read it anyway. And you know what? I don't regret it. So this is dual POV. It follows Emery and Ivory. And basically she goes to this school. Is it a boarding school? It's a regular school, I'm pretty sure. She just goes to school. And it's like a musical school, isn't it? They call me a slut. Oh, wow. That's aggressive. Whatever. She goes to the school, okay? It's a school and she goes there. And he's a teacher. He's a music teacher. She's a music student. So it is teacher-student. It is forbidden. It is age gap. It is dark. It is spicy. It is everything you're thinking of and more. And I had a good time. It was one of those things that I threw my morals out the window and I had a good time, okay? I wasn't obsessed. Like I definitely like Lessons in Sin more, and that one's also teacher student. But wait, does Pam Godwin only write teacher student? No, because I want to read Sea of Ruin by her and I'm pretty sure that's not. I'm not sure. But I liked that one more than this one, but I still really enjoyed this one. I ended up rating it 3.75. It definitely is not like my favorite book of all time. Not even my favorite Pam Godwin book of all time, but I really did like it. I just didn't obsess over the couple like I thought I would. I loved the plot and I loved like the story and everything that was going on. There's some scenes in here that I was like, what the fuck? Like I hated them. But there's a lot of scenes that I also enjoyed and I liked the dynamic. I just didn't love. Usually I love the couples that I'm reading about. So that's when it's like a 4-star or higher. That wasn't the case here. So, but I did like the plot. So 3.75, it was fun. Definitely search up trigger warnings. See if it's for you. 3.75. My only thriller of the month I was very excited to read is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I got this arc a while ago. I don't remember exactly when I got it, but I was very excited to read it because I love thrillers. You know, I don't have a good track record when it comes to Lisa Jewell because I don't really like Then She Was Gone. And by I don't really like, I mean I didn't really like it at all, but I wanted to give this one a try. None of This Is True. I also read it on my Kindle. Basically, don't remember. Not the air turning on when I'm speaking. Basically, it follows these two women that share a birthday, like share an exact birthday. They were born on the same day in the same hospital, so there's a lot of similarities there. And they run into each other in a pub when they are both celebrating their birthdays, and they think like, wow, how crazy, we share a birthday twin. And then they start doing a podcast about that. That's literally it, but then some crazy shit starts happening. I don't want to tell you anymore because it's a thriller, so I feel like you should go into it pretty blindly. Everybody loves this book. This book is so raved about. Like, most people rate it 5 stars. I hated it. Like, with every fiber of my being, I hated it. And I love thrillers, okay? I'm a person that really, like, I can read anything. Nothing really affects me all that much, you know? But this book, like, what the fuck? It tries to get you to cheer for the wrong fucking person. It tries to redeem the wrong fucking person, okay? And it just made me so angry. It made me visibly fucking angry. The plot twist didn't even plot twist for me. The story was good. Like, as I was reading it, I was really enjoying the way the writing was going and the way the story was going, but the ending pissed me off. The characters pissed me off. The plot twist pissed me off. And the fact that it tries to redeem a character it definitely shouldn't pissed me off. So, Lisa Jewell, I feel like you're not for me. You are for some people. I am not one of those people. I rated this 1 star, and that's me being generous. I more so would like to rate it 0. 0. That's how much I hated it. I don't hate books often, but when I hate them with everything. Everything in me. And this is one of those. Goodbye. Search up your trigger warnings. It's a thriller. I don't really know if you search trigger warnings for thrillers, but if you do, search it up for this one. Yeah, it was certainly a book, all right. Ready? That was aggressive. Let me go get it. That was mean. I'm sorry for throwing you. I didn't mean it. I love to treat my books like, you know, treat them. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to throw you, I'm going to throw you. If I want to hug you, I'm going to hug you. They're my books, you know? I just love to, like, feel them. Like, when people get mad that other people, like, crack their spines or other people read books like this and shit like that, I'm like, who cares? The book is used because it's a fucking book. You used it. Anyway. The last book I have the physical copy here with me is this one. It is A Deal with the Devil by Elizabeth O'Rourke. Elizabeth O'Rourke, okay? I listened to this one. This was actually my only listen of the month. I really enjoyed the narrators. So if you're looking to listen to a book, maybe this could be the one for you. This could be the one. This could be the one. Okay. This book follows Tali and Hayes. It's only told from her POV, so you do not get his, sadly. And it is a series, but they're all interconnected standalones. This is the only one I've read so far, and it is the first one. I'll read the other ones later. I'll probably listen to all of them. And these are the special cover edition things. They're cute, right? Adorable. Anyway, I listened to it. Like I said, the narrator was great. I really enjoyed listening to it. It is boss employee. Like, this girl, Tali, she needs some money. She's writing a book, but she has kind of hit a bump with it, and she needs something to make money in the meantime. And her best friend, Jonathan, is going to go have a child. So he's like, I need to take a break from my job. Oh, hey, what a great idea. You'll work as a replacement for me until I'm back. He happens to work for this extremely rich guy who is apparently a dick, and his name is Hayes, and he is a plastic surgeon. So she comes to work for him as his assistant. Yeah, that's it. So it's a boss employee. It is Grumpy Sunshine. It does have some spice. I don't remember having too much spice, but it does definitely have spice in there. I remember that. And it was fun. It wasn't life-changing. It was just one of those that was fun. But you know, not every book is going to change your life. And this is one of those that I just had a good time with, and then I forgot about it after I finished. Like, I'm not going to be thinking about it again. But it was fun while it lasted. So 3.75 for this one. It wasn't enough for me to give it a 5. I definitely didn't love it all that much. 3.75, A Deal with the Devil. I'll let you know if I read the other ones. Elizabeth O'Rourke. Again, I don't have a good track record with her either, because I read Waking Olivia by her and I thought I was gonna love it, and I didn't. Definitely hated it. I don't know if she's gonna be for me. I'll keep you updated as I read more. But this was definitely fun. The last 5 books that I read this month were all on my Kindle, and I don't have the physical copy for any of them. So they'll be here. They'll be here in a picture form. Picture a picture, and then that'll be here. First up, I'm gonna talk about Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, okay? Let me just say that this took me all month to read. Let me just say that this arc was sitting on my Kindle for so fucking long, and I physically couldn't open it because I was so scared, okay? And then when I opened it, I continued to be even more scared. And as I was reading it, I was sobbing and losing my mind and just dying and throwing up. And so it took me a month to finish. But it is a 5 star. It is a 5 million star. So if you haven't heard, I told you earlier, but the Magnolia Park series is one of my favorite series of all time. It's definitely like you have to read all of them. They're a little bit intertwined characters. So like if you're gonna read Magnolia, you can't just start with this one. Like it's Magnolia Parks, the first one, then you have Magnolia Parks, second one, and then you have Magnolia Parks third. Obviously, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Hold on. I'm putting it here on the screen. Magnolia 1, Magnolia 2, and Magnolia 3, okay? You have to go in order. And then you also have Daisy Hates and stuff like that. Those are different characters characters. It follows a different couple. But if you want to read it in order, you know, read it this way. This is the order if you want to read all of them. But anyway, this is the last book for Magnolia and BJ, and it's dual POV, and I don't want to tell you a single thing about it because if I say anything, it'll spoil the things that happened in the other books. So just know that this series, like the Magnolia Park series, follows Magnolia and BJ, and then Daisy Hates follows Daisy and Christian, and I don't know if anybody else is getting books, but she's still writing. Who knows when we're going to get them. You know, Jessa Hastings loves to just leave us hanging, leave us wanting more, leave us waiting, dare I say it. But this book was so painful. Oh my God, I haven't felt this way in so long. I was so sad, but also I loved it so much and I feel for these characters and I love these characters, and like the writing, Jessa Hastings' writing is nothing like I've seen before. And I will say I hated Never by her. I rated that one star. I'm pretty sure I DNF'd it, but Magnolia will always hold a special place in my soul. I love these fucking characters, okay? And going through everything they went through in this book with them just was a different kind of pain. 5 stars. I literally have rated every single Magnolia Parks book 5 stars. So if that doesn't convince you to read it, I don't know what does, okay? But beware, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. You're gonna go through it. Picture Gossip Girl, but make it like London, and that's Magnolia Parks. Like they are literally Chuck and Blair. Messy, but fun, and we love them. But also, you want to kill them. So do with that information what you will. I also forgot to say that I read this as an ARC, so that means advanced reader's copy. The book comes out February 13th. When you're watching this, it'll come out very soon, and then you'll be able to read it too. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I usually don't like to read ARCs too early because I don't want to sit here and tell you guys like, oh hey, like I read this book and it was so fucking good and I rated 5 stars, but you can't read it. Sorry, you know, so I like to wait. So don't worry. This one you can literally read immediately. Like it's coming out next fucking week, you know, February 13th, Magnolia Parks. Go read it. Speaking of ARCs, I also read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. My angel Elsie sent me this. I adore you. I love you. You are everything to me. And this book comes out April 9th. So remember that I said I don't like to read ARCs too soon. I made an exception for this one because I love Elsie and I had to read it. What am I going to do? Say no? You know what I mean? Just like Lauren, you know, whenever she sends me Love Unwritten, like I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it and I'm going to have to tell you my opinion and you're just going to have to wait. Most of the time I don't like to do that, but I had to be done. Okay. So anyway, Wild Love. This is the first book in a series that's coming out by Elsie. It follows Rosie and Ford, and it's dual POV, and it's best friend's brother. No, it's brother's best friend. Oh wait, it's both. From her POV, it's brother's best friend. From his POV, it's best friend's sister. There you go. Yeah, best friend, sister, brother's best friend, dual POV, also single dad. That is all I will say. You're gonna get into a new universe of Elsie. It's Rose Hill. Yes, you're gonna dive into a new universe, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Definitely wasn't my favorite Elsie book because that remains Flawless. I really just don't think anything's gonna top like Flawless, Heartless for me. Pretty sure just Flawless and Heartless. Like you take those two and those are like my favorite things Elsie has ever done, and I just don't think anything's gonna top it, but I'm very excited for the rest of the series. This was good. It was a good start. I'm rating it 4 stars. I definitely really enjoyed it, but I wasn't obsessed with like the relationship. I was more obsessed with the characters separately than I was with them together, but I really liked them together, and I love the dynamic of the kid that you get to see in this book. Probably my favorite part, and I really loved being in a new universe and stuff like that. I'm more excited for the rest of the books in the series. So 4 stars, really liked it. Didn't obsess, but enjoyed it very much. So, okay, Wild Love, 4 stars. Next, I read Raise by Tilly Cole. This is the first book in her Scarred Soul series, and this is such a fast read, okay? The series is apparently like you have to read the whole thing in order. I'm pretty sure, I don't know because I've only read this one, but that's what my mom informed me of, and she loves this series. So, Raise is the first book. It follows Raise, yeah, number 818. He has a number. I'll explain, hold on. And then it follows Kisa, I think is her name, and it's dual POV, and basically it's like, it's trauma, okay? You have like these men who were taken and like put in a place to basically fight for their lives 24/7 and like cage fighting and shit like that, and they were given numbers, so like they don't have any sense of what society is like now because they've never been in like the real world. Kind of, they were taken very young, and then they break out. So this is Raise. He gets out wanting revenge for the people that put him there. So he, you know, comes into this universe. He comes into New York. I don't know why I said universe. He comes into New York and he gets into this gym because he wants to find revenge on the guy that's there. And that happens to be Kisa's fiance. So there you go. It's mafia. It's like a crazy, I don't really know how to explain the book other than that. Like read it and you'll see. It's literally 250 pages, so you can read it extremely fast. I really enjoy the writing because I love Tilly Cole's writing. I really liked the trauma bonding. I really liked the fact that the men are like innocent, so you have like innocent guy and, you know, experienced girl, which is fun because it's usually the other way around with these books. So I liked that. I definitely just wish the ending wasn't so rushed. It felt like the ending was rushed to me, but my mom said it's because the rest of the books kind of still follow that same storyline. So I'm guessing I'll understand it more when I read the rest. You know, I think it's 4 books in total. So Raise, I enjoyed it. I rated it. I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure 4. Yes, I rated it 4 stars. That's how much I liked it. You see, 4 stars. That means I liked it. Really enjoyed it. I don't remember much besides what I just told you, but I liked it. So 4 stars, Raise. I'll let you know when I read the rest of the series, but it was good. I like Tilly Cole. Thousand Boy Kisses is definitely my favorite by her, but I wouldn't recommend that one if you don't want your heart broken. So maybe you read Raise. Next, I also read a book again based on my mom. So I read the first book in the Scarred Soul series, and now I read the first book in the King series. Not really the first book, it's like a prequel kind of thing. So it's The Dark Light of Day by T.M. Fraser. My mom's obsessed with the King series by this person, and it's like a 10-book series or something like that. It's pretty fucking long, I think. And this is like a little prequel, and she told me to read it in order. So I read this one and started it off, and hopefully I'll be reading King soon. If you read this series and you like it, do let me know, because my mom's obsessed, and like I really need some more people to convince me to read it, because here I am still not reading it. But I did read the prequel, so I'm getting there, slowly but surely, okay? Anyway, this follows Abby and Jake, and I'm pretty sure it's dual POV, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I remember nothing. I remember nothing. Like, thoughts have left my brain. They meet at some point, and he's a biker, not in a gang, but he's like a biker in a motorcycle club kind of thing, picture Sons of Anarchy kind of vibes. And then she is a person that does things, and it's a book that I read. They live together for some reason. It's like roommates, and also a little bit insta-lovey and a little bit like insta-lusty as well, which is why I didn't love it, which is why I completely erased it from my brain. I rated it 3 stars though. I definitely had a good time with like meeting the characters. Like, it's set up for the universe that I do want to go into, but it's definitely not a book I loved. It was just there. You know what I mean? Like, it's forgettable to me, hence the fact that I forgot it. But I do remember really liking Abby and Jake together. I don't remember if I liked them separately. I just remember I liked them together. So 3 stars for this one. I'm excited to read the King series. I just, you know, started with the prequel, and then eventually I'll get to the nitty gritty of it all, just because of my mom. She's forcing me, okay? She's forcing me. If you see this, send help. 3 stars. Definitely search up trigger warnings for this one too. I'm pretty sure for the entire series if you're gonna read it, because this had some very dark topics, so search it up. Lastly, I read Heartless Beloved by Lola King. Pretty sure this is part of a series like interconnected standalones, and this is the 2nd book, so I just like went into it. Like, I just dove in, and I was like, I don't want to read the first one, I want to read this one. So here I am. I read this one. Okay, let me explain. You have X, pretty sure his name's X, whatever. And then you have Alessandra. Oh my God, another Alessandra. Didn't I read another book with Alessandra this month? King of Greed. Oh, fun. 2 Alessandras in 1 month. Would you look at that? Anyway, I think it's dual POV. Are you dual POV, yes or no? Are you coming to the tree? La la. It is. Okay, dual POV. So basically Alessandra is a daughter of a very powerful man, okay? And she gets kidnapped one night because there are 2 like rival gangs that are fighting with each other. There's like conflict going on, and she gets thrown in the middle of it. So it's bad guy, good girl. It's opposites attract. It's a dark romance. It definitely has a little bit of questionable things, okay? Your morals have got to be thrown out. It's kidnapping. It's stalkerish behavior. It's a bit crazy, but you know, that's fun. Let me tell you why I read this book. When I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it, Larry. I heard there's Taylor Swift references in it. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do? As a Swiftie, I must read it. I must investigate. And it did have so many Taylor Swift references in it. That made my heart soar. My heart was breaking free. My heart was, we're breaking, we're soaring, we're flying. Anyway, I rated this one 3.5. Okay, I liked it, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed. I want to read all of Lola King's books ever. It wasn't like that whatsoever. Like, I just read this one and then I forgot Lola King even wrote books. Okay, I moved on completely. If I hadn't written this down, I would have never remembered I read this book. But I loved the Taylor Swift references. Loved. Like, there were so many, and having Taylor Swift references in a dark romance is unheard of. So I really enjoyed that part. Other than that, no, yeah, that's it. So that is all the books I read this month, my beautiful besties. Let me know what you read. Let me know if you enjoyed the books you read. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? I hope you liked this wrap up. You know, please do tell me you like it. I live for validation. Words of affirmation are one of my love languages. Do you wanna know my love languages? Let me tell you. Words of affirmation and quality time. Like, that's the ones I like to receive. The ones I like to give is gift giving and acts of service. That's the way I like to give, which is so funny because you know what? Giant's way of showing love is quality time and words of affirmation. But then the way that he likes to receive love is gift giving and acts of service. What? Made for each other what? Wow. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, do tell me that you enjoyed this video and do tell me what you read this month. I love you so much. Have such a great day.